How's it going, gamers? We ended up a good chunk of points inside a Master Ball playing today's Dark Babies deck. I honestly think this is a fantastic type of deck for laddering with in Pokemon Pocket. You win so many of your games so quickly. Your baby Pokemon with Kobola, when going first, lets you start a cracking for 70 early, which in tandem with red and extra chip shots from Darkrai on the bench adds up very quickly and closes out games before your opponent gets developed. And likewise, when you're going second, these baby Pokemon can charge up your Arceus EX to start cracking for 150 as early as the second turn of the game, letting you quickly clear out things like opposing copies of Suicune and other lead EX Pokemon right away. If you enjoy competitive off-meta decks being explored in Pokemon Pocket, make sure you're subscribed to Hooklandia Pocket on the YouTube side for highlights like this one. If you enjoyed this particular brew, make sure you smash the like button on today's video. For the rest of the day, have fun with this one. All right. We have some babies. So this Pokeball is 5-6 to get us something we'd be happy to put an energy onto. There's one. Oh, good. We can't brick. Can't brick. 0% to brick. Do I keep my bed small? I think I do, yeah. To start, at least. I think I keep it small to start. So Kobola here. Rolling Tackle hits for 70 for 2. And when this is in the active spot and gets energy, it falls asleep. So we want to charge the Comatose Koala Bear up while it's on the bench. So we'll go ahead and attach a Dark Energy here, and we'll go ahead and crack them for 70. And if they don't have a Cape or an Irida, we knock them out in theory next turn. And if they do have a Cape or an Irida, we'll play the Arceus out. We'll probably play the Arceus out regardless, honestly. Do you have any thoughts on Memory Light now that some time has passed? I think it's a fantastic card, but it does it help some Pokemon become more relevant? Ultimately, Memory Light has not ended up in any competitive Pokemon Pocket decks, no. So we're basically at a point where anything that's going to be competitive from this set is pretty well known, and there's no Memory Light decks that are putting up results. So we'll do this. We'll do this. I want to pause and think for a second. What am I putting a cape on and why? I think I want to put the cape on the Koala so that way it doesn't die to 2 Greninja hits. I think is my plan. Really good aggressive open for us. Kobola showing that it's not just an anti-Oricorio card, although it also does that for this deck. Being able to just, like, hit for 70 on your second turn when going first on the back of all these babies. Very strong into Suicune when they don't have their sustain. Aww, our opponent died to a Koala while playing the best deck in the metagame and they salted off. Love some sodium to start the morning. But not all of them. Our salty baby has left the game. Lovely, lovely. Easy dub. Second, we have baby into Arceus. Opponent is playing Metal Energy. Interesting. Oh, they're the... what's his name? Solgaleo deck. There's been some Solgaleo lists floating around. If you've missed the most recent meta report last week, we talked about this one there. They're playing Suicune and an Entei, just 2 of the legendary dogs they can't attack with to assemble their stage 2 more consistently. As opposed to like Sylvia and stuff we've seen in the past. I think I power up the Arceus, because this way if I top deck a red, we can clear them. And honestly, even if I don't top deck a red, I can hit them with Ultimate Force, so the following turn the Darkrai chip shot clears it. Morning, Dairy. What do we think of waiting for a turn? Because if I put the Arceus up and they have Solgaleo, they hit the Arceus, and then I hit them and attach an energy, and then I don't have another attacker ready. I think I want the Koala Bear ready to attack. And then this way, if they have the Solgaleo this turn, which is likely, right? Like, they're over halfway into the deck. So if they have the Solgaleo and they kill the Mantike, I can move the Kobola up and hit them for 70, and then they can take the Kobola, which is only their second point, and then we'll prize map 1/1/2. That's a nice flexibility this card gives as well with these babies. This card has such good utility here. Like, it's a good aggressive start in some of the spots like we saw in the Suicune matchup, but it's also an anti-Oricorio card, and it lets us prize map 1/1/2 in spots like this when that's ideal. What's your highest points on the ladder this season? Why do you care how many points someone has had on the ladder in a given season? Do you ascribe value to the content creator you're watching based on how big their arbitrary number is? Big Green Monster, thank you for the 22 months. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. Yep, so here's the Solgaleo as expected. They'll take a KO. I guess I don't have a good plan for beating second Solgaleo here. It makes me sad whenever I see someone get offended that I answered their question with a question, because it means they've likely never had a very good teacher in their life. Good teachers don't just tell you answers to the things that you want constantly. They help you think critically about why you're asking the questions you are, and help you gain a better understanding for what the goal of what you're looking to actually learn is. All right, so I have a copy of Lily here, but I'm actually still clearing this Solgaleo next turn, yeah? I get to go ahead and put Arceus up, and then I get to play Arceus on the bench, and then Darkrai does 20, and then this is 130, yeah? You play Pokemon Pocket off-stream? I do not. Not in at the start of the season. I do sometimes, but once we're this far into the season, I build decks and I open booster packs, but usually I don't play too many games. My most played off-stream games these days are Once Upon a Galaxy and DC Dark Legion. things I've been poking at the most personally. Cape for red. So I don't really need to cape for red here because I'm going to die to red regardless, because the only way I win this game is by maneuvering around my 140 HP Pokemon, and they're gonna catch up to me one way or another. Oh my gosh, is their other Solgaleo buried? There are 2 cards left in their deck. Oh my gosh, their other Solgaleo is buried. How unlucky. This is the dangers of a stage 2 deck, I suppose. And the 150 with Arceus plus Darkrai is real clean. None of their things could survive there. Ghastly Enjoyer. Oh, baby. We've got a bunch of looks at Arceus and Tita here. We get to draw for the turn. We get to draw with research. Then we have 2 Pokeballs. And again, I'm only looking for basic Pokemon at this point, so I'm going to research before I Pokeball because it maximizes my chances of finding basics. I'm going to just get a nice full bench this turn, ideally. I think I leave the last bench slot open for now because the last bench slot being open means that I can slide a Darkrai in here next turn. Part of me wants to play the Cape to get it out of my hand to make hand disruption worse. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I want the Cape on the Arceus or the Koala yet. Could go either way. If they're playing Baby Gengar, they could crack us for 50 this turn. I think if you wanted to fit a copy of Cyrus in this deck, you'd have to give up your copies of red, which is why I didn't include. You have to give up like a red or a cape. Maybe you could give up the second cape. I can see that being okay. Geo, letting them clear the baby. Seems good. And their EX Gengar, even if they have it, just takes so many energy to attack at this point. They've got no tempo on the board. Or just geared up and ready to beat him down. Oh, that's cute. So that lets them get the Gengar down and then attack before they get to the 3. I guess if they have a bunch of copies of Lily here, they might be okay. Maybe the Darkrai draw is good because it means we get to get extra damage in. This is why I was saving a bench slot. I'm dealing 150 per cycle now, right? So even Lily's not enough. They would need even with like Lily potion here, they only get to 120. So they're still gonna go down. I guess if they have like a copy of Leaf and they could put up another 1-pointer, they could buy a little bit of time. Did you miss Lethal there? Gengar's Pokemon ability says I can't play my supporter out, Video Gamer. We're not that far off of spoilers for the next set, yeah? We should get those on Thursday or Friday morning. I checked out Once Upon a Galaxy from your stream last week, and it's been a solidly fun game. It's so much fun, Tori. Galaxy's been one of my top off-stream games lately. Fucking a lot. I'm gonna wait on playing the Pichu out here because I think ideally my bench slots are Koala and Darkrai. Since we played against the Sylveon deck, it's been poor Sylveon Espeon's been pretty pushed out this season. Did not age well. Definitely want to put a cape on the Mantike here, so that way it doesn't get cleaned out by a bite next turn. Leaving my last bench slot to give me some flexibility here, but very likely to play out another basic before we attack with Arceus. Yeah, Suicune getting to consistently... This deck gets so many quick wins. This deck that we're playing is probably a very efficient laddering deck. Ooh, Sylveon Dragonite. All right, we need so what? We got two babies, so there's 75% hit attacker here. Lucky. Now, the question here is Arceus going to be able to, actually be able to clean through here? I don't know. If they have their Dragonite on curve, it might not be able to. Because they put the EV up, we clear that, and then the Dragonite's going to be ready to go, and it's going to clear by Arceus. Dratini to the front of the class is not what I was expecting here. This is a very large mistake on my opponent's part. Definitely their game to lose, and it feels like they're throwing it. They absolutely should have given me the EV. I guess they could have Lily into Lyra. Maybe they probably have Lyra in hand and we're focused on wanting to have a bench Pokemon to pivot it with. If they have Lily here with it, the Komola is not going to be enough to punch it down unless we top deck our second red, which is unlikely. Yeah, they're just cooked. Yeah, I think in that instance, even if Eevee is my opponent's only bench Pokemon, they're probably supposed to put it up so that way their Dragonite can be full health there. Letting it take a big hit there is a lot of downside. Sad. I guess we'll open on Arceus. Or I guess we'll open on Darkrai because they have a fighting energy. I do have 2 copies of Leaf in my deck. So in theory, I could top deck a copy of Leaf. In theory, I could top deck a copy of Leaf and then Pokeball into a baby. Although my opponent has the audacity to play the good Phanpy instead of the bad ones. They could kill my baby. No copies of Leaf. I'm gonna put another Darkrai on the bench. I think the game plan here is power up Arceus, and then Arceus plus red plus Darkrai gives us the ability to hit for 170 in a single turn, which does clear the stage 1 on this in one shot. It's gonna take them a few turns to power up and clear my lead Darkrai here. Well, they're playing a split on Phanpys. Sure. Is there an MMR or rank system out there that is a good representation of skills? So, the reason why none of these games, whether they're Pocket or Snap or anything else, the reason why none of these games have rank systems that actually measure skill is because ranked systems that actually measure player skill discourage people from playing the game. So systems like chess where you have ELO, it becomes optimal for you to stop playing the game at a certain point because the odds of you increasing your ELO are lower than the odds of you losing ELO by losing to someone with a worse rating than you. And you got to remember the ladder systems in all of these games, they're engagement drivers. They're not intended to tell you who the best player is. So the reason why they don't measure skill is a feature because if they were measuring skill, eventually it would be optimal for you to stop playing. It's so interesting. Like, for me, someone who has a lot of experience in the industry, like, it's very apparent what these systems are doing. But it's every game I've ever played, people always put a ton of weight into, oh, what is your ladder rank? What is your rating in this game? And it's like, well, in reality, that doesn't really matter. You're not measuring anything important. Asking what your ranking is or acting like it matters in a game like this. And for the record, this isn't to say that people who are ranked highly in games like Pokemon Pocket or Marvel Snap or others are bad players. It's just to say the person who's ranked first in Pokemon Pocket with their almost 10,000 points, they're not a meaningfully better player than someone who's probably ranked 100 or even 1,000. They just play a lot more. So these systems don't let bad players get to the top, but they also don't ensure that people at the top are good. If that makes sense. Unfortunately here, I'm gonna have to top deck my second copy of red, or I think we're cooked, because they had 260 point monsters here. Leaf actually lets me get around this unless they have a copy of... So Leaf here means unless they have a Cyrus or a Sabrina, we actually can win. So we'll Leaf the Arceus out, letting us keep the energy on it. And we get the chip shot in with the Darkrai here. And then next turn, I could retreat this and Nightmare Aura them again and then finish with the Arceus. Obviously, we're dead to a handful of supporters here, but we're not dead on board with the Leaf draw, which is nice. Red and Giovanni also beat us as well because of the Lucario in the back. Wait, did they click the wrong button? They memory light misclicked. That's so funny. We've all been there, gamers. The memory light where it puts the attacks on the user interface is really atrocious. I was looking over to chat because I assumed we were dead, but yeah. First, Zera. What's the plan here? I think I actually really want a Komala here, so I'm gonna research before I Pokeball, because drawing a basic that's not Komala increases the odds that Pokeball finds a Komala. And obviously we didn't, but we still got it, so that's great. And then what's the game plan? I think I just load my bench out to play around hand disruption. And then our curve here should be pretty clean. We get to go ahead and go Toasty Toss onto the Komala. And then next turn we go Dark Energy on the Komala, move it to the front of the class, crack this for 70. And then the following turn, Darkrai can finish it with its Chip Shot, and we can deal 70 into their second thing. Joltik. There's a name I haven't heard in a little bit. So we're gonna put this energy on it before we move it to the front of the class. Crack him for 70. The Comatose here means you fall asleep if you get energy in the active, so you can't start on this one without having a pretty large risk. Oh, that's cute. So they can flip a coin to keep me paralyzed with the memory light. That's adorable. How do I... There's a way to see what's under this, right? Can I not see it? It does 10, right? It does 10. Oh, is it this way? Is this there? That's it. Flip a coin. If post, yeah, it only does 10. Alright, I don't need to care. It's a fun 1-2 punch from the opponent. I don't know how they kill my follow-up thing. I don't know what, like, they don't have another Pokemon to put energy on. So what they're doing is neat, but they just like die to the Darkrai, yeah. In fact, I'm gonna put a cape on this. That way they have to put an extra energy on this to get the knockout. I don't want them to get to kill me with the deal 10. Bad beats for the opponent too. Their turbo paralyzed deck queued into Arceus. Luris. Speaking of being here for an eternity, thank you for the 113-month resubscription. I appreciate the over 9 years. Welcome back. Hope your personal sphere is doing all right these days. Okay, so my assumption here is they retreat this for free and then clear with the Zera, but then the chip shot here can clear the Zera, and then we clear the Galvantula, so they need another basic. And in the event that they do get another basic set up here, the Magby can come up and get knocked out, because this is only 1 point. The Magby can power up the Arceus, and the Arceus doesn't get impacted by special conditions. And I don't know how they do anything meaningful from here, because their Zera dies to a chip shot. Like, obviously they can attack me, but like they get another bench Pokemon behind it, he's at more than 80. Go Rim! Thank you for the over 2.5 years. I appreciate the very generous tier 3.